Thank you for taking the time to look at our video. Consider the Ant is a biblically based look at emergency preparedness and self-sustainability. I'm Clayton Van Huss. I want to talk to you today about winter. Here in Northeast Tennessee, we're just now coming out of what's known as blackberry winter. You see, after the weather starts to warm up in the spring, we have several cold snaps usually that last for a few days, maybe a week. And the temperatures have been pretty low as of late. In fact, last night it got down into the mid-30s. That's blackberry winter. Lord willing, this is the end. The forecast now is one more night of semi-cool temperatures, and then we're popping up into the 50s and 60s. It's time to get the garden in. The sun is out. It's warming up the ground. It's getting time to put all of those little tomato plants and those pepper plants that we've bought at the greenhouse, that we've started from seed. It's time to get those in the ground. In fact, if I didn't have to go to work this afternoon, I'd be out there doing that right now. But as it is, I'm going to have to wait a couple of days. Now is the time. As the earth tilts on its axis, the days are getting warmer and longer. It's time to grow our produce. The harvest will be coming months down the road. Some of it will be happening during the summer months, but much of it will be happening during the fall. Do you know how to preserve? Do you know how to can, how to dry, how to freeze what you have? Let me encourage you to store up for the winter. Remember to consider the ant. During the summer, she works hard, she stores everything. And then in the winter, she has food. Now there are uncertain times ahead. It's an election year. And with everything that's been happening in the past few months in this country, that's going to be used as ammunition from both parties in the upcoming elections. Our nation is divided. I'm a student of history. I love history, American history. The American Civil War is one of my favorite topics to study. But let me tell you something. From what I've read, from what I've seen, and from what's going on now, our nation is more divided than it was in 1861. In addition to an uncertain political climate, there's also the possibility that this virus could make a resurgence. We need to be prepared for what's coming next. I know that most of us experienced some difficult times during the quarantine and the staying at home, with grocery store shelves maybe being out of some of the things that we're accustomed to being a part of our everyday life. This could happen again. Now, I'm not trying to be a fearmonger. What I'm saying is, let us be prepared. Right now, God is giving us this beautiful season to produce for ourselves and for others. Let us be prepared for the coming winter. Think about how many months you may be locked in. If there's another quarantine, if there's some sort of civil unrest, if there's some sort of serious economic trouble, a possible depression. And again, I'm not trying to scare anyone, and I'm not saying that this will happen. What I'm saying is, let us be ready. Because if disaster strikes during the months when we can't grow our produce, when it's cold outside, what are we going to do? Make sure you have food on hand that you can cook during those months. Rice, beans, canned items from your garden. Now is the time to be prepared. Not when it's cold, not when it's bleak, not when it's difficult to grow anything in your backyard. Let me encourage you to think of your loved ones, your family, your neighbors, those who cannot help themselves. How much food are you going to need to get through those winter months? What are you going to have to do to stay warm? It's wise to have some provisions put back and some fallbacks when it comes to heating. If the power goes out, are you able to heat your home? If you can't heat your home, do you have enough coverlets and blankets to stay warm? Again, I'm not saying that the apocalypse is coming, that the end of the world is nigh, that there's going to be civil unrest or depression or anything like that. I'm simply saying be prepared for your loved ones and look to their well-being. I'm going to leave you once again with the words of the Apostle Paul. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.